Hello, everyone. Hope everyone's July is going well. It's almost halfway through July. This is crazy. Like I say all the time waits for no one. Speaking of, this is not related to time, but in case you have some time to read a very good poetry book, mine, What If I Ruled the World? Poems inspired by music, and by me, your boy. Always in the description, always in the link tree. You know, it's there. So today we're here to talk about Roddy Ricch's discography. It's also a best and a worst albums second video. If you guys have any suggestions about who you think has like a really great album and a really bad album, that would be nice because these are the first two people I thought of. Or who was the first one? Oh my gosh, my brain just totally deleted who was the first person. Chance the Rapper and Roddy Ricch. These were the first examples that I could think of, at least recently. And I still have not listened to Chance the Rapper's like brand new album, but we're gonna talk about Roddy Ricch's discography, and whether I really think these are his best and worst albums because he only has two. And then we're gonna start out with his biography, and then we're gonna get into the reviews. So he was born Roderick Wayne Moore Jr., which obviously I guess Roddy is a nickname, and then yeah, every rapper wants to be rich. I don't know if that's the full backstory, but it sounds like it makes sense to me. He was born October 2nd, 1998. He's an October baby, but he's a late October baby, so he might be a Scorpio, but I am a Libra. Yeah. Which, now that I'm thinking about it, is going to be one of my gripes about the second album. That might make sense, since Scorpios are allegedly very horny. We'll get into that. Um, he's known professionally as Roddy Ricch. He's an American rapper, born and raised in Compton, California. He rose to fame in 2018 following the release of his song Die Young, which marks his first entry in the Billboard Hot 100 as a tribute to the deceased rappers XXXTentacion, Little Snoop, and Speaker Knox. Ricch's first two mixtapes, Feed the Streets 2017 and Feed the Streets 2018, were both met with critical acclaim, which I did not listen to either one of them. And I think he has a third one out now. So I've been listening to all three of them. So maybe the three are better. Because sometimes, mixtapes like a little different. But let's see. But I gotta listen to them at some point. In 2019, Ricch guest appeared alongside Hit Boy on Nipsey Hussle's single. Rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle. First, rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle. First off, his single "Racks in the Middle," which earned him a Grammy Award for Best Rap Performance, and Mustard's single "Ballin'," which peaked at number 11 on the Billboard Hot 100, also received a Grammy nomination. Which there was a crazy story about his Grammy. Like he had left it in like a storage unit or something, and then forgot about it. So then the guy who found it was trying to sell it back to him, but then he put it on the internet, and then everybody was like, "It's kind of a jerk move." So I think he just ended up just giving him the Grammy back and getting to meet Roddy Ricch. It was a whole thing. So I don't remember all the details, but I remember that, and that was the Grammy from Nipsey Hussle's single. He signed to Atlantic Records to release his debut studio album, Please Excuse Me for Being Antisocial. It came out in 2019, which I do feel like it came out at the perfect time, honestly. Um, which debuted atop the Billboard 200, spending 4 non-consecutive weeks atop the chart, which I talked about in my short video. It spawned the single The Box, which topped the Billboard Hot 100 for 11 consecutive weeks. That's crazy. That was the fourth single, I think. It wasn't even the first one. Um, okay, here we go. And it was received diamond certification by the RIAA. The final single, High Fashion featuring Mustard, peaked within the chart's top 20, while guest performances on the Baby's 2020 single Rockstar became his second Billboard number one song, which I remember that song. I did like that song. But, the Baby had his own controversy, so there's that. Uh, his second studio album, Live Life Fast, came out in 2021, was met with mixed critical response. Also peaking at number 4 on the Billboard 200. His lead single, Late at Night, peaked within the top 20 of the Billboard Hot 100. So he never put out any other singles. When I was researching and listening to the album, that was the only single, which I feel like I want to say something about that. I feel like after the first success, he kind of got maybe cocky and then was like, "Oh yeah, this one single will be good enough," and then didn't get the best reviews. So his third studio album, the Navy album, has been continually delayed and has no known release date, which I do understand from like the standpoint of your first album did so well, then your second album was like meh. So now it's like you gotta pick it back up, you know. He has won various accolades throughout his career, including a Grammy Award from 10 total nominations, as well as two BET Awards, two BET Hip Hop Awards, and an American Music Award. So that's a little bit about him. And I think he also has two kids, which, not surprising. But he is kind of young. I feel like in his Want to Live Life Fast, I think that was like 5 years ago. He was saying he just turned 22. So um, that's a lot of success at that, like 2022. That age range. That's crazy. But anyway, we're gonna review both albums now. Uh, like I said, the first album was "Please Excuse Me for Being Antisocial," released December 6, 2019. The genre is hip hop and trap. You can stream it everywhere. Um, YouTube Music, iStream on Apple Music, Pandora, Deezer, iHeartRadio, Spotify, SoundCloud, Amazon Music, Amazon Music. The vibes I get are luxury, witty and good one-liners. Because I feel like he did have a lot of good one-liners on the album. So I'm gonna go with my favorite songs and my least favorite songs and my overall opinion. So the box, which was like the second song, so which was like one of the singles. I did, of course, I put it on here. I love the box, I really do. I feel like when I listen to it, it kind of doesn't make sense, but you know what? It's very catchy. His flow is great on the song, and then everybody loves the that he had, and like that was what like made the album go really viral, and it's very memorable. And then it was in the background, it was in the beginning of the song, and people were making TikToks to it. So there was that. Um, I love the beat in general, very booming, very danceable. A lot of random, quite quotable lines. I always love the line about Zimmerman. LOL. Well, he said, "I put 100 bands on Zimmerman shit." I don't want to say because I don't want to incriminate myself, but I agree with that line. That's all I'm going to say. And then I love that he's saying he's a 2020 presidential candidate. Um, what else did I love about it? Um, Bitch, don't wear no shoes in my house. Very random. Like it. Of course, the chorus. I just hit a lick with the box. How to put the stick in the box. It's a lot of one-liners. It's a really great song. And then he had a song called "Moonwalking" featuring Little Dirk. Very crazy wordplay. So in the chorus, he's using "moonwalking" and Michael Jackson. Of course, that was one of Michael Jackson's famous dances he would do. I mean, not saying he created it, but you know what I mean. Uh, he said he's like bathing. He's in a bathing ape like Harambe. There's some crazy quotable lines. Little Dirk is an okay feature. I don't think his lines were anything special. So Roddy says something about having racks like Serena. So then Dirk in his verse says he has racks like Venus. Or no, one of them says, maybe Roddy says Venus in the beginning, and then he says the same line. He says Serena in his line. Yeah. So that's what happened. I just reversed it. So Roddy said a Venus racks line, and then he said Serena and racks, like tennis. But other than that, Dirk was okay. He's not somebody I just listen to on my own, really. And then Boom Boom Room, I love the song. Very atmospheric. It makes you feel like you're floating. Feels like a great song for the stripper to slow dance to, because that's what I'm assuming. And in the video, he's in a strip club, so that's the Boom Boom Room. Um, I love the beat, and Roddy is riding the beat. Very catchy, memorable lines here too. Yeah, yeah. He's in the Maybach coupe, peanut butter jelly, sliding in the road, sliding bins. Respect, I get a lot of it. Now I gotta remember the words. But yeah, very quotable as well. And then my last favorite song is War Baby. Actually, very heartfelt, about PTSD and living in the hood, and like what he had to deal with growing up. and like what he saw, having to do whatever he needed to do to survive. But it traumatized you. When you live in that kind of environment where it's like violence all the time, and you have to do what you have to do to survive. You know, I love the chorus at the end, and it made it a little like uplifting. They had like a choir singing with him at the end. So yeah, I actually did not really have any least favorite songs on this album. I think this album was a good start for Roddy Ricch. He had a lot of good wordplay, and beats are unique enough to distinguish the songs apart. I will say the subject matters are pretty much the same. I feel so that does make the songs less unique. In the second album, it gets worse. I feel like because it's also longer than this album. I think by like 7 minutes, but it's still enough of a difference that like the subject matter repeating it is that actually did kind of get on my nerves, but we're gonna talk about it. I think he had a lot of potential to do a lot better, and I feel like he could have cut the album down to make it more impactful. But it was a good start, so I'm gonna give the album a 7 out of 10. The second album, we'll get into it. Live Life Fast is his second album, and it was released December 17th. Believe that 2021. You can stream it in all the same places I just mentioned for the other album. The genre is hip hop. The vibes. So he said this so much that I put it in the vibes. Okay. He talked about getting head so much. Oh my goodness. It was like every single song. Uh, being rich, which I mean that's kind of a rapper thing. Bragging. That's basically the vibes. Let's get into my favorite songs and my least favorite songs. So my first favorite song is All Good featuring Feature. Some witty wordplay. He's like, I'm on the wood like LeBron or something like that with, being on the court and you're watching the game. Um, and he's saying everything's all good, like to rhyme it. But the best standout, but the beat. See, I always have to have a typo. The beat is the standout for this one. Very booming and like arena sounding. Future is an okay feature. Nothing spectacular. He talking about dirty soda. He talking about he switched his pop star for an actress. I feel like he kind of always talks about stuff like that. Even though I like his music, it's not anything you have never heard Future talk about ever before. He's Future. You know what I mean? Speaking of that, I just saw he had to put out a new album. I don't know if I'm gonna listen to it because like I feel like over the time, I'm not saying all rappers are great people, but I feel like he's kind of a jerk. I mean, I listen to his music, it is not surprising, but I'm like, do I want to stream the music after feeling like he's taking unnecessary shots at like his ex and her husband, Sierra and Russell? I love them, honestly, but I'm like, I don't know if I want to do it because I'm like, what is he going to be saying now? You know what I mean? But anyway, got on a little tangent. So the next songs are both starting with M, but they were like back to back too. So one is called Man Made. I love the working from Monday to Monday, showing that like he's on his grind. He's really in it. Trying to show he's self made. I got himself off the mud. Very motivational. So I did like that song. He's basically saying y'all man made, I'm self made. Like he really. I hate to use this phrase, pulled himself up by his bootstrap, because people use that to like be negative towards people who are like, you know, poor or, not as wealthy. So, yeah. And the next one's called Murder One featuring Fabio Foreign. Once again, the beat is making this song stand out. It's like a light drill beat. I do feel like Roddy's vocals change. I do like Roddy Rich's vocal changes in the song. I feel like he played around a little bit. It's also pretty catchy with the chorus. Yeah, like basically saying murder one, and I forgot what else he said after that. But yeah. Oh, I forgot to talk about Fabio Foreign. I think he just sounded like all of the songs I've ever seen him. Kind of like Future. It's just like he's just him. You know what I mean? Uh, that's all I can say. He just sounded the same as always. He's okay, from what I can remember. Because I listened to it last night, but I was driving. But I did re-listen to some of the songs when I got home to like really get my like favorites and my opinions going. And then this was the only single, like I mentioned earlier, called "Late at Night." I felt this was a good single choice. I feel like it was a really great single choice, honestly. And I think this also kind of went viral too, from what I can remember, or like part of it. I feel like the beats to the lyrics to the melodic flow made it a good song. Very catchy, Late at night, kiss me in the morning and late at night. Really showing off my singing today. My singing today. But yeah, good, catchy. I wish the whole album had more cohesive songs that sounded like this one though. 'Cause I feel like the whole album didn't sound like that at all. And then I think he learned his lesson because this song was like at the end of the album before. And please excuse me for being antisocial. The box was like the second song after the intro. Or yeah, I think it was the second song after the intro. And I guess he was like, y'all about to stream this whole thing down. Even though you could just click it and stream just that song. But you know what I mean. The goal is at least give it a one through, and then you get to the lead single. Yeah. But yeah, I liked it. I think it was like the best song on the album, even though I like the other three songs that I said. There were some other songs that I liked that were, but they were kind of like I enjoyed them, but they weren't like my favorite. And I actually do have two least favorite songs from this album. So one is called Roller Coastin'. It's like he wanted to do an experimental. He wanted to. Of course, I have once again. I always have to have a video with typo. It's like he was trying to be experimental with the chorus, but didn't commit to the rest of the song sounding different. So he does like this kind of like gargling thing where it's like rolling. It's like some kind of vocal thing, sound effect. But he didn't do anything else in the song to make it different, and I didn't even like that sound effect. I was like, ew, sounds gross. He should have just been like super weird and experimental the whole song. I think it would have stood out in a good way. Like if he just went for it. If the I don't know. Well, now that I think about it, then I didn't like the vocal thing. But I mean, if he did some different kind of effects throughout the whole song, maybe it could have been better. But it was just like, oh, you just experiment on on the chorus, then everything else is normal. Like, where's the commitment? You know. And then my last least favorite song was "Everything They Need." Or is it everything you no, I think it is everything I need. I had to have looked at this. This is purely because he says he'll be outside, but he still knows where home is. And this is after he said, I don't want a girl. Basically, I said, I don't want a girl who's a pass around. So you get to go out and cheat, but the girl has to be faithful. Just like a nigga, you know? Just like a man. Shaking my head. So that was purely why I hated that song. I was like, not you talking about, oh, you need to be everything I need, or I can be everything you need, or however it goes. And then you say that. And then you say you don't want a girl who's been passed around. And now look at you. So let's get into my overall opinion. I feel like I got annoyed listening to this album. LOL. And, how many times can you talk about the same things in almost an hour long album? Like, really? How many times can you talk about the same thing? And I feel like I kind of wanted to go on a rant this video, but I was like, I've gone on two rants, but I'm going to go on a mini rant. And there's always this thing about female rappers talking about the same thing all the time. All rappers talk about the same thing all the time. Talked about Richard Millie Diamonds, the cars, being rich, being better than other rappers, which I kind of wish he kind of leaned into the better than other rappers thing versus the luxury rich. And here's one really big gripe. Especially, he said, he talked about the same things over and over again, especially getting head. And I'm by no means a prude. I'm a prude. I'm by no means a prude. Like, I'm like, have sex, do what you want to do. But it was like I was like appalled and irritated because it's like every song. It was literally at all. I think it was like 18 songs. Why is it on almost? I don't know if it now. No, I'm getting confused with War Baby in the last album because I was like, I don't think he talks about that, but that was on the last album. But it was like every single song, pretty much. Even like he had some kind of slow down songs, but it was still like, and it would be so random too. He'd be like, "Oh yeah, I got my car, and my dick is always in her mouth," and it's like, "Oh my god, do you have anything else to talk about?" I get it. Sex is great. I'm not, I think it's great, but it's like it's every song. I was like, oh, this is not doing it for me. But yeah, it's definitely not as good as his first album. And even the first album, could have been better to me. So I can understand his hesitation for releasing his third album after hearing this one. And I totally get the mixed reviews and everything because it wasn't really mixed for me. Even though I did like six of the songs, but that's six out of like 18. Or some of the songs were like, and then I'm like trying to see, and then so there were four songs I really liked, like I told you about, but some were like, you know, kind of meh. But I can understand his hesitation for releasing the third album. Uh, oh yeah, if I wasn't enjoying some or being annoyed by some of the songs, everything else was mid, as the kids say. LOL. It was like, that's a fine. Like nothing really stood out to me. Um, and production wise, it started to kind of blend together. Like the beats weren't as unique. I feel like as the first album. I can see why this got like lukewarm reviews, and I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 10. Even though I did enjoy some songs, the subject matters, the beats, and the length made it drag on. Because it's like, how many times can you talk about being rich? How many times can you talk about getting out the mud? I mean, I feel like if he had another song or a few songs like War Baby, like just those kind of vibes, I feel like that would have broken up like him kind of talking about the same thing on every song. So yeah, and it did not need to be 18 songs long. It was almost an hour long. It's 50 minutes. That's why I listened to it on my way home from work because I live like an hour over an hour away from my job. So I was like, I'll just listen to it on the way home because I was like, if I'm sitting down listening to it, like was not sure how bad it was going to be, but it was bad. 3 out of 10. Um, so yeah, I understand his hesitation. I think he just need to do it. Just need to do it. If it sucks, it sucks. Of course, I would love for him to do better because I feel like he has potential to do better. He has like some witty wordplay, some good beat choices. Like I feel like he's like kind of the melodic style. And I feel like in 2019 was like the best time, like right before the pandemic, like to blow up, to be able to. I don't know if he toured. He probably did. To be out and go out and promote and like really have good momentum. And then I don't know what happened after that. So, like I said, I didn't want to rant for 3 videos in a row, so I did write a poem, and it's titled the same thing I titled my short video, which is Boxed In, and it's a nonet poem, which is like you start off with 9 syllables and then you go down to 1 syllable, and I'll put like all the information about it in the description. So yeah, it's called Boxed In, and it's inspired by the box. Self-imposed prison of your own doing, creativity lacking, no originality anymore. Please get back to standing out more. Switch up the flows. Don't ever get boxed in. I feel like that's just really what it is. He just needs to like experiment, maybe do something different. I listened to Beam. That was the first single for the Navy album. I have to double check, but I did listen to it. I think that is his newest song. It was all right. I mean, I always feel like he's like that close. Like he's really close. I feel like he could be good. I'm gonna say gooder, better, because that's the actual word. He could be. He's like so close to being better. And like even the box, even though it's kind of the same things he's always talked about. I feel like it could have been just lightning in a bottle. Like everything came together. It was witty. It was the wordplay. It was the beat. It was that memorable, like one liner with the ear. Like everything was like perfect for that to be like a big song. And he needs that again. Like, and I feel like that's kind of like the thing with like going viral. It's very much lightning in a bottle. It's like it could be just a one time big hit. But even at that time when the box was number one, Justin Bieber had his song. I think Yummy was out, and he was trying to get to number one. And I was streaming the box because I was like, "Listen, Justin, I need the brother to be number one." And it was like a big time. You know, so it was a lot of like good things happening. But what do you think? What do you think about Roddy Ricch? Have you listened to the albums? Have you listened to his mixtapes? I would like to listen to mixtapes, but I'm also like, am I just gonna hear every song of him talking about getting head again for all of the mixtapes? uh Which I mean, for rappers that I feel like you can talk about so many things, just so many things. And like he would have some kind of lovey songs or like sexy songs, but I don't feel like he really went for it. Like he had a song on here called Slow Jams, where at the end of the other song, Jamie Foxx was the feature, and he was like, "Oh, let's make a slow jam," but it was only like a minute and a half long, and I was like, "Oh, this could have been, a little longer. This could have he could have really went in with the sexy vibes." So, yeah, he just needs to do something. He needs to like get in the booth, get really creative, get really experimental. I know the box was like a big singular thing, but he needs to do it again. That's what he needs to do. Um, you know. So I'm very interested to see how this saga is gonna go with the Navy album because he's delayed it like 3 times. So let me know what you think of Roddy Ricch. Let me know what you think of his albums. Have you listened to the mixtapes? Do you like the box? Do you not like it? What do you think? Let me know your thoughts. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you all next week.